Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Artix reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in trying their new watercolor pencils, and I agreed. So in today's video, I will show them to you and share my experience with them. There was a cute surprise as well. They also sent me this super cute watercolor sketchbook. It has 300 GSM hot press cotton paper. It looks really promising. Once I fill it up, I'll film a review if you're interested. The first thing I want to mention about this set of pencils is how much I love the design of the box. It's truly genius. I don't like the large tin pencil boxes. I am a messy artist. I tend to organize my pencils by color, yeah, but in bunches, tied up with elastics. Because I found that that's the only method that's efficient for me. Once I finish using my pencils, I can quickly shove them away, and that's the only way that offers me a semblance of order. Until this box. This box is extremely well designed. If they sold them separately, I would buy more for all my other pencils. I reorganized the colors into 3 general sections. Similarly to how I usually separate them into bunches, however, with this box, the pencils are easier to see and pick up, and they're also quick to put away. I'm just so in love with this box. This is the true star of this video, the box. Please make them and sell them. Thank you. These pencils have an hexagonal shape which differentiates them from their standard round-colored pencils. They are slightly thicker than normal because watercolor pencils tend to have a more brittle but larger core, likely to prevent breakage. As a result, they might not fit all pencil sharpeners. For instance, they do not fit my electric one. This one is currently the largest set available, but since it's a new product, I believe they might introduce new colors in the future, especially considering that their standard pencils come in a range of 126 colors, so there's room to grow. In this set of 72 pencils, I noticed that about 14 of them do not match the color of the varnish well, and 2 appear to have been switched. So I hope they fix that. The pencils are very soft. I usually prefer hardened pencils because it's easier to draw details with them. However, harder pencils are more challenging to layer, while these softer ones layer very well. Although the core is a bit brittle and the little crumbs get in the way annoyingly, the point doesn't break easily, but it wears down quickly due to its softness. I just wish they were a little more smoother. Now let's get to the fun part, using the watercolor pencils, of course. Watercolor pencils are fun because they give you 2 mediums in one: colored pencils and watercolors. My favorite ones are the Albrecht Dürer by Faber-Castell. I'm sorry for my pronunciation. Anyway, the Dürer ones. Because when wet, they dissolve quickly and completely, becoming actually nice watercolors. In contrast, many other brands, especially the more affordable ones, do not dissolve completely. And in their watercolor form, they tend to be patchy and difficult to blend because they sort of become this slippery liquid. And unfortunately, that's the case with these ones. However, there is a big price difference, and this doesn't mean that you can't achieve great results with the more budget-friendly options. Considering that a set of 72 Albrecht Dürer pencils could cost around $150, whilst this set is only 33, I mean, of course there is a difference. But don't you worry, because I've got you. I'm going to share some tips and tricks for you to get the best use out of these more affordable watercolor pencils. They might be a little bit more challenging to use, but with the right techniques, you can still create beautiful artwork. Tip number 1. Experiment. Know your material. Familiarize with the pencils. Learn their behavior so you can achieve the best results. Two, keep a soft brush near you to gently brush away the little pencil crumbles. Avoid using your hand, as this can create unwanted streaks of color and might transfer oil and sweat residue on the paper, and you want to avoid that. You don't want that. Three, use good paper. When deciding between high quality colors and good paper, always prioritize the paper. Even the best art supplies will not perform well on crappy paper, so that's important. For the illustration in this video, I used Paul Rubens hot press watercolor paper, which is 50% cotton and 300 GSM. It's affordable, yet it's good quality. For pencil illustration, I prefer smoother paper with a slight tooth. If you're aiming for more texture, cold press paper works well too. It all depends on the results you're looking to achieve. I like a smoother look. Tip number 4. To create a nice flat wash of color, shave the tip of the watercolor pencil with a sharpener and melt it separately. Then work as if you're using watercolors. That will give you a nice, uniform, texture-free base. You don't have to worry about the pencil not melting on the paper. This way you just have the watercolor part of the watercolor pencils. Tip number 5. If you're new to using watercolors, you might find it difficult. But you just have to keep these 2 rules in mind. Work quickly and utilize the flow of the water to your advantage. You can move the paper to make it more even and stuff like that. And very important, make sure to wait for each layer to completely dry before applying a new one. Otherwise, you risk lifting the color from the underlying layer, which can be difficult to correct. Now, the real juice. Tip number 6. I have found that the best way to work with these pencils is to layer them lightly, applying a little color with little pressure at the time, so that when the water is applied, they will melt and blend seamlessly. Use a brush with a nice point, keeping it only slightly wet, and apply minimal pressure. Work in small strokes and be patient. You want to avoid disturbing the layer beneath, so proceed carefully. And tip number 7, the last one. If you press hard with this pencil, that won't dissolve completely. That's a given point. But you can use that to your advantage for creating interesting textures. So keep that in mind. It can be useful. And that's it. That's all I discovered trying to use these pencils, and I hope this helps. For this illustration, apart from the Artex watercolor pencils, I also used a black polychrome by Faber-Castell. These days I prefer to use this pencil instead of ink. The difficult thing when it comes to colored pencils is that they are all a little water soluble. It's actually hard to find ones that are completely waterproof without them being too soft. This one from Faber-Castell is the only one I've tried that only melts slightly. It's soft enough to produce a dark line while still maintaining a sharp point, which is perfect for detailing. I've tried many, but this is the one that has the most balanced characteristics. The darkest one that I really liked was the one by Caran d'Ache, the Luminance series. That one's really expensive, but it's too soft. It doesn't keep a point very well, unfortunately, so I have to keep sharpening it, and it's not really cost effective, so I'm sticking with this one. But hey, if you have a recommendation for dark black pencils that are waterproof and they keep a point well, let me know. I find that using pencils gives line art a softer appearance, and the drawing with them doesn't induce me the same anxiety that ink does, so the result overall is better. Additionally, for this illustration, I used white gouache to add the highlights and to make the hair look more fluffy, because I overworked them and they started to look a little too flat. I use gouache pretty much in every illustration I make. It's such a versatile thing and I'm addicted to it, maybe too much. This is my first traditional art illustration in a long while, and I really missed it. While I was painting, I noticed that my hand got dirty, of course. And that brought back a wave of nostalgia you have no idea. I remember how when I was in art school, it didn't matter how well I washed my hands, they were always stained. It took some serious scrubbing with one of those hand washing paste that men in construction use that has sand and a very harsh soap. But that was the only thing that removed the stains from oil paint and acrylics. It wasn't very nice for my skin, but it felt fulfilling to get my hands dirty, and I missed it, actually. Oh, don't worry about the forehead. Yes, I know, it was weird. My very personal art critic, my brutally honest younger sister, let me know. I fixed it at the end. I hope you like it. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I hope it was helpful or interesting for you. If you want, leave me a like and subscribe, and see you soon, everyone. Bye bye.